I just came back from an overseas trip and was surprised and perplexed, receiving so many phone calls and reports arising from the various statements that I've been making lately on various national issues. I've also been receiving various delegations from my own immediate family members who are all strong UMNO leaders, asking me not to do this, not to do that, and all sort of things. I've also been receiving phone calls from the mainstream media, but more so from the alternative media, for comments on the said subject. Basically, the comments that they want is on the report that the disciplinary committee of UMNO has been asked to investigate my various statements. Arising from the situation, I was a bit surprised. Why is it suddenly become so serious? So I obtained again various statements that I made, and basically my internet TV interviews with various parties. To the disciplinary committee of UMNO, I wish to state that there is no need to waste their time to investigate me, because I'll be sending them the full text of the said interviews, which are not edited in any way. All right. In this connection, I wish to remind all concerned that the late Dato' On Jaafar and after that Almarhum Tengku Abdul Rahman Putra and his colleagues gave birth to UMNO and nurtured it to be a truly democratic party. Right? This democratic party was created to fight for independence for the country, to be an independent, sovereign, and a truly democratic country for the whole rakyat. All right. That's very, very important that we should not forget that. The opinions that I've expressed, even this is considered as criticizing the party, are only 10%, less than 10%, what UMNO youth and other party members in the 60s and 70s expressed, criticized, and gave opinion, sometimes very strong and bitter against party leaders and the government at that time. But UMNO and its leaders at that time have faithfully stuck to the spirit that UMNO was created to be a truly democratic party. That means we have the right to dissent, to debate, to express our opinions and so on. As an UMNO Youth Exco member, at that time, under the leadership of the late Dato' Harun Idris, I was also personally very vocal in expressing my opinions and criticisms against Tun Razak, against Tun Hussein On at that time. They were the president, prime ministers. I was we were not hauled up before the disciplinary committee, but we were also given all sorts of opportunities to serve. In my own case, Tun Razak appointed me and extended my term as political secretary to cabinet ministers. 2 cabinet ministers. And Tun Razak appointed me. Tun Hussein On even picked me in 1978 to contest for the parliamentary seat of Kulim Bandar Baru. And I stuck there from 1978 to 2008. Right. 30 years. So under the circumstances, I wish to remind everybody concerned not to belittle and insult UMNO, which on the other hand should be made to continue and prosper as a truly democratic party. Members should be allowed to express their opinion or even criticize the party where necessary. I'm quite confident a lot of these opinions expressed can actually be helpful to strengthen the party and its struggle. YB Dato' Sri Najib, the president of UMNO, and other leaders have gone round the country shouting, "We must change, otherwise we will be changed." All right. The question is, what are those bad habits that needed to be changed and of which the rakyat is so angry of? Who has to change? Are these only the UMNO members, the ordinary UMNO members, or it should include also its leaders? All right. I've been holding positions in UMNO since 1956, before the country achieved independence. I'm still holding position in UMNO. I've been working for the party for the last 55 years, including about 30 years as parliamentary secretary, deputy minister, and political secretary, parliamentary secretary, deputy minister, and minister. Surely I would have acquired some knowledge and experience, and thereby earn a right to give a little bit of my opinion. I therefore urge the relevant parties to consider carefully all my opinion expressed. I do feel if these are implemented, it will bring a lot of good for everybody, both in the short term and also in the long term. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, study lah what I said. No need to go and haul me up before the disciplinary committee. It doesn't mean anything. All right. Amongst the opinion that I've strongly expressed are as follows. Stop and abolish all the various types of bribery and corruption. All right. This includes the political corruption, whereby one has to pay money to his own fellow party members to be elected to various posts in UMNO, including the top posts. Top post pun kena bayar. All right. Number 2, stop the bribing of the rakyat by the government and the party, whether directly or indirectly, in order to be popular and to win the country's election. I'm sure there's so many other ways to be popular and win elections, which result corrupting our people's value system and way of life. Believe me, it's not only people in the country, but international community too is watching us. I've stated this all along, even when I was a cabinet minister, that the practice is ugly and primitive. Yeah. Is this going to be our legacy for the future generations? In this connection, I was just reminding that the people who are basically in power in this country since independence are Bumiputra leaders. Hence, do not blame the Chinese community or the Chinese political parties for the failure to bring up the socio-economic position of Bumiputras to its rightful and just position. We have had more than 50 years to do it. In my interviews, and as a person who had travelled a very long journey, I made certain suggestions to rectify this situation. I hope it can be considered and implemented.
Have the disciplinary committee written to you?
No. They have not written to me. Maybe they will not even write to me. But I read in the newspapers. But then I've been getting so many delegations. Macam-macam rombongan datang jumpa saya. Oh, janganlah buat itu, jangan. Saya kata, saya buat apa? Saya jawab macam tu, saya buat apa? Jadi itu yang saya balik, saya cek balik. Kalau benda macam ini pun saya tak boleh beri pandangan. Apa dah jadi dengan UMNO ni? Kalau sikit macam ini pun saya tak boleh beri pandangan, apa dah jadi dengan UMNO? Itu saja. Sebab saya ni orang lama. Saya tahu macam mana UMNO tu pada tahun 60-an, 50-an, 60-an, 70-an dan sebagainya. Memang parti demokratik betul-betul. Kita boleh bahas, kita boleh beri pandangan, kita boleh kritik pemimpin. Tak ada pun sekejap-sekejap nak bawa pergi ke disciplinary committee. Ya, kajilah dulu apa yang orang kritik. Itu saja. Kita pun bukan betul sangat pun. Kaji itu saja.